Hey, I'm gonna do my best David impression. Woo! Okay, there we go. Okay, great job, David. All right, guys, welcome back to the channel. Spencer Van here, and in today's video I'm going to be sharing, kind of really reacting to my business partner David, him doing a live cold call, and I'm going to be brutal with him. I'm not going to hold back. You know, I love David. He's been a great friend of mine through my life and a great mentor and a great business partner to me, but it doesn't mean I'm going to take it easy on him, because that's not going to help you guys if I just say, oh, he does everything perfect. I'm going to give you my honest to God truth on how he's doing, what I think he could do better, and you can take that as you will. So with that being said, I don't want to have a long intro. If you like it, drop a like, comment down below what you guys want to see, and of course hit the subscribe button and the notification bell to get notified next time we do a free mini course giveaway, which we need to do one very soon, so you probably want to get notified. Here we go.
This one right here will be north of 5,000, and you're building these up. You do one of these a week at $5 grand a week. I mean, you're making 20,000 a month. People say, oh, that's impossible. No, it's not. I'm doing it right now.
Hey, you know, first of all, I like David. David's getting good at this YouTube stuff, guys. If you guys aren't subscribed to David, subscribe to him. I'll leave a link down below for him, but that's a good hook right there, David. I know we're not talking about YouTube videos, but... And look at this intro right here, too. This intro is great. Okay, here we go.
When it's in surplus funds, I'm going to talk to you today about how to seal a deal with an older person and what to say and how to act, and a couple loopholes that you want to jump through. Do me a favor, before I do that, if you've not subscribed to my channel, come on, what are you waiting for? Go and subscribe to my channel.
Hey,
click the notification link below. I would love for you to be one of my lucky winners. Sometimes I do live calls. I'd like you to be in my live calls. All right, I'm going to have you listen to this conversation and talk about it a little bit. I'm Tim Spring.
Hey, listen, but before we start this call here, I want you to give me down below your prediction. Will David close this deal? And how do you think he's going to do? Do you think it's going to be a 1 out of 10 or a 10 out of 10 or anywhere in between? Just if you had to guess, leave your comment down below. I'm curious to see what you guys think.
My name is David. Ma'am, I'm trying to reach a family member, and I had you down as a possible contact. I'm with JD Vista calling you on a recorded line. Dead. Yeah, I know. Okay, so a couple of things there. She tells me he's dead. I know that he's dead. And notice how I say I'm trying to reach a family member, because I know the guy's deceased. I have that on my information. You use our site or another site like app.surpluslist.com. It does show that information that he is deceased, okay? She says, who's calling?
Hey, that's a good plug for our site. By the way, surpluslist.com, last month, our first live month, we did over 17,000 in skip traces, and people are absolutely loving it. We've had several people already close big deals from it, and we'll be releasing more information soon. But right now, it's only access to current Surplus Fund Academy and Surplus Fund Mastery members. So if you want to learn more, join one of our programs, and we'll tell you about it. But what he's saying here so far is correct. You know, it's an interesting situation. Obviously, it's somebody that's passed away, so you want to approach with caution. But what's really interesting here is his framing. He's coming from a super authority-based frame. So if you heard in that first line, he's saying, hey, is this da-da-da? This is David calling from JD Vista on a recorded line. I don't know if I would include the company name and that it's a recorded line right off the bat, unless your state requires that. I'm 99% confident Texas, where David lives, does not require that. I know California does. So if you live in California or calling someone in California, you do have to tell them that it's recorded if you're recording it. But most states don't. And if it's between states, I'm not a lawyer here, but look it up. I'm fairly confident you don't have to tell them. I'm not saying you shouldn't, but I'm just saying something to think about. But yeah, so far so good. I like what he's saying here, and he's doing a good job.
So right when she says who's calling, she's basically saying, should I hang up this call or not? Like, do I continue this or do I not? And it's like, yeah, I'd like you to continue this. I'd like to, here's why I'm calling. If I get to that point with someone on the phone, they have 5 seconds to tell me why they're calling. And if they can't satisfy me within their response within 5 seconds, that call's terminated. All right, let's listen to this.
And you know, he used the word terminated there, but it's true. I mean, one of the most important parts is telling someone why you're calling them in the first 5 seconds, because what David said there is 100% true.
I'm trying to reach a family member because there's some funds that belong to him from a property auction that he had on Ingram Boulevard, and I want to know who. Go ahead.
I'm on there with him.
Okay. Are you familiar with the overage from this property, ma'am?
You what?
Are you familiar that there were funds left over from this property?
No, I didn't have any idea there was funds left over.
Okay, I'm with.
So one thing that David's really good at that is different than my skill set, he's very good at connecting to people like in this situation here. Like you see how he approaches it with such a level of sincerity and all that, especially like he calls and he's like, hey, you know, I understand he passed away, but I just wanted to tell you that there's some money owed to him from this property auction. Do you know anything about that? You know, and he's just like, he's really sincere in his tone. And that's just naturally who David is. David's a very caring, sincere guy. Shout out to you, David. And so that's naturally who he is. So he really excels in situations like this, which guess what? That's one of the reasons why I'm so good at surplus funds, because there's a lot of situations like this. So just something to think about. That's why I always tell people that work with us, you know, you have to come in with a desire to truly want to help people. If it's just about you making money, it's going to be hard because when you're communicating to people, they're going to feel that, you know, and nobody wants to work with people like that. So just keep that in mind. But again, he's doing a great job so far.
From JD Vista, we're a California corporation, and what we do is we work with family members and we help them get paid on this. It costs you nothing. We just get a percentage once funds are received. I know that this is going to be, are you aware of the overage? She didn't know what overage meant. That was probably poor language on my part. So when she asked for explanation, then I go a little bit more into detail there of what exactly there is on the property. So I'm going. Yeah,
he's spot on right there too. You know, there's something in marketing called technobabble, and basically it's when you're talking to somebody and using, you know, lingo or language that you use with your coworkers or people in your industry, but you're talking to someone out of your industry, so they don't understand what you're saying. And one of those terms is overage. We probably all know what overage means, right? If you're watching this, I'm assuming you probably know what that means. But a lot of people, I mean, most people, maybe even a few weeks ago or a few days ago, you didn't know what that meant either, right? So if somebody calls you and said, hey, you're at an overage, you'd say, what the heck is this? And so you want to try to avoid those industry terms as much as possible. That's why we use terms like mystery money and stuff like that, because yes, it's dumbed down, but the reality is that's how the most successful people speak. They're just regular people that can connect with everybody. They're not these people that are highfalutin using fancy adjectives and words. Okay?
Going over exactly what there is on the property. Let's continue listening to this and watching this. But I get right to the point. I make it clear that she's paying nothing and that she pays nothing until I collect. Now, role playing, working with like-minded entrepreneurs, you're going to do fairly well at it. Let's keep on listening to this. Yeah, so you're on title with that property too?
Yeah, my name was on there.
Okay. All right. What we can do is we can go ahead and put the agreements together. I don't know if you have email, but I could show you on the email what they look like. And then if you want to go forward, or I can... Huh?
I don't have an email. I got some mailing address.
Okay. Are you at the...
Yeah.
So if I mail...
Well, a couple things here. First of all, we skipped ahead a little bit just to kind of get to the juicy part of this call. And he did a really couple interesting things there. First thing that he said is your name on title? All right, now if you're not familiar with that, title is simply when you own the home, who was the legal owners of the home? Just because you live there doesn't mean you're a legal owner of it, right? So in this case, she was on title, meaning that I'm assuming this is her husband, were married at the time before he passed away, and they own this house together with both their names on the title, which means even though he's passed away, getting the process of those funds to her is super, super easy. And that's why he kind of went like, yes, right? He's so excited about that. So that's huge. The second thing that he did there is he was really simple and straightforward and just said, cool, like, what's your email, right? It's not this weird, heavy sales pitch with like these awkward pauses and all this. He's just really casual, like, hey man, cool, yeah, you owed some money. What's your email? I'll send you over the agreements. You can take a look at them, right? And she's like, hey, you know, I don't have email. I only have mail, and now he's just confirming her address. So he's doing everything textbook right now. He's doing a great job.
I'm there to you. Would you be okay with that?
Yeah.
And then if you want to proceed and go forward, what I would do is I'd have a notary get in contact with you, and we can go ahead and work on getting you paid, ma'am. Okay, so when you're dealing with the elderly, like my grandmother just passed, she was 95 years old. This lady was 81. I just wanted to make sure that she didn't want another family member. I called the lady one time and she was like in her 90s, and interestingly enough, she knew about the unclaimed property she had. And this wasn't an overage, it was unclaimed funds, it was state level. And I went ahead and said, let me get in contact with your son. And her son and I talked, and she said you were from the church, because my name is David Church. She said you were from the church, and I clarified everything with the son. He wanted to move forward. In that one, the money reported to the state was like over 15, 20 years old, and she didn't have any old records to prove this, and it was a lot of work. We actually ended up letting that one go. But whenever I'm working with an elderly person, you want to be careful. You don't want anyone to come at you with elderly abuse. You just want to be able to show supporting documentation.
I'm ready to take care of everything right now.
Okay, what I can do is I can send you, my name is David, or I can give you my phone number if you'd like it. Correct.
Name is what?
David, and the last name's Church. And I'm with JD Vista. That's the name of my company.
You're with who?
It's J as in it's J, and then it's D as in David, and then it's Vista, Vista.
So something funny too, a lot of you guys do this and it just makes me laugh. You know, you guys come in and you're all excited about surplus funds, but you do all these things, some of you guys do a lot of things that are unrelated to closing deals. So for example, you go and you're like, okay, I'm working a 9 to 5, I don't have a ton of extra money, but I'm gonna spend the extra money I have and I'm gonna go start a corporation and name it some really fancy schmancy cute name like Surplus Fund Recovery LLC or something, you know, and I'm gonna go get E&O insurance and all this stuff. And like David's, you know, his company that he's using here, which is his personal surplus fund company, is literally called JD Vista. Okay, it has nothing to do with surplus funds. It's not even, you would never know. And I'll be honest with you, I kind of gave him crap when he made this company several years ago. I was like, dude, that's a horrific name. Let's make a better name. And he was like, no, that's the name I want. And I was like, whatever. And it doesn't make a difference. Like the point is he still makes a ton of money through this company, through the different, you know, assets and businesses that he runs through it. And the point is the name doesn't really matter. Okay, I hate to break it to you guys, the name really does not matter that much unless you're looking to build some crazy brand or something, which when you're starting out, you should not be doing, just to be frank with you. So that's the first thing I'll say here that I think is funny. The other thing that I think is great is, again, I mean, you can just hear how sincere he is, hear how, you know, again, he's coming from a place of wanting to help somebody. He's even talking about, hey, don't take advantage of the elderly and make sure you have documentation to back that up because, you know, I'll say, for example, I've been on calls before where, oh yeah, that sounds like a great deal, where things are gonna close, and then I get a call the next day before the documents get signed saying, hey man, my grandfather has Alzheimer's and he's not mentally capable of signing this document, and now I feel bad. And obviously I didn't know, right? So I'm not doing anything wrong. But the point is, you know, there's situations like that. And I'm just using that as an example. But the point is that you really got to be careful, right? And so I think those are kind of probably the two biggest things there. Let's see how he wraps up this call though.
And what I could do, ma'am, is one is an assignment of interest. It will allow JD Vista to go and collect the funds on your behalf. And then the second one's a contingency agreement. That's the fee splittage.
So the main thing I would change there, I wouldn't say that the assignment of interest lets your company collect the funds on their behalf. I would change one word and I would say recover. Because collect makes it seem like he's keeping it. Obviously he's not. Just from a standpoint of communicating what you're doing to somebody, especially in this situation, recover sounds a lot more friendly than, oh, I'm gonna collect your funds, you know. So I would change that.
We do ask for 30%, and then what we would do is, if you're okay with both of those, we proceed forward. We act on your behalf with the government and get you these funds paid, and you would pay nothing, and we would get the percentage that we agree upon.
You know, I look at the paper.
100%, man. Hey, Berlin, you sound like you've got a lot of kick. I really enjoyed talking to you. Look forward to me having you get these, and I hope we can do some business together.
Yeah, thank you.
Hey, God bless. Have a good day. All right, so a few things.
Hey, I'm going to do my best David impression. Woo! Okay, there we go. Okay, great job, David. Yeah, man, I mean, that's a great way to end the call right there. I think you did a good job of explaining the paperwork. By the way, never refer, I don't think he did it here, but just as a note, never refer to the contracts as contracts, refer to them as paperwork, right? Other than that, I think he did a great job explaining it. I talked about changing the word collect to recover, and that's pretty much it. I think this is a pretty textbook call. If you guys have not subscribed to David, make sure you do. Link will be down below. Shout out to you, David, if you watched this video. And I think that's it. With that being said, hit the like button down below, comment your thoughts, and of course, hit the subscribe button and the notification bell so that when we do give away another free mini course, or a couple of them, you can be notified. So with that being said, I'll see you then.